When I was still a child, I had lots of questions. I grew up like any other child, copying the trend of the world. I was living life the way I wanted, for I was free and dependent on nobody. I was the referee of my life. God was not the master of my life, for I was the Lord of my life. Though I was attending Catholic religion, over time I became a Catholic acolyte. I was often invited to evangelical church, but I was double-minded and living in sin. In 2016, in the morning of 8th of February, the unthinkable happened to me. When I did not expected it. On the previous day everything was as usual. When I went to sleep I thought I would wake up on the following day as usual, thinking that it was just a routine. The following day at dawn, when it was 4 a.m., I saw my sister preparing to go to work. I saw that she was putting makeup and giving me her back. I said to her, "Naomi, when Lady Sarah come you just wake me up, so that I would pay her debt and get more of her sausage." But my sister did not answer me. I thought it was all right. She heard me well. In truth, she did not hear me because I was already out of my body. At 5 a.m. she went to drop the child to school, and when Lady Sarah got in the compound I rose up in order to join her. Then I heard my mother saying to her, "Lady Sarah, get in the room, for my daughter is still asleep." It is when I went to open the gate of the living room and join them, that something unreal happened. When I held the door handle I saw that I touched an empty space instead of the handle. I tried again and I saw that I could not hold the door handle. I was stunned. I said, "How could I miss the handle of the door just like that? Why is it that I am unable to hold the handle of the door? My God, this has never happened to me since I was born. What's wrong with me?" It is when I look around that I realized that I was sleeping. I was shocked. I wonder how come I have become two. But I could not explain this phenomena. I said, "What is it that is happening to me? How come I am sleeping and I am standing? Let me try to return in my body and stand up." However, despite my effort I was unable to enter my body in order to move it. All these efforts to enter my body was vain. I was overwhelmed and I said, "What is happening to me?" Moreover, I saw that I was able to see through the wall and physical matter, as if they were transparent. When I tried to pick up the Bible that I had, I could not touch it. Brother, I could not touch even my phones and my money. I was separated from my own property. In this desperation I decided to pray. Given that I did not know how to pray, I started to recite Our Father prayer. I did it many times but nothing happened. Then I recited Ave Maria, but there was no result. I tried all these Catholic prayer but there was no reaction. Finally I decided to pray like an evangelical church. I prayed and said, "Please God, hear me and save me from this situation." I did not know that I was dead and that God is not a God of the deads. I stood observing my room and all my property. I wonder how is it that I can no longer touch all my property. Brothers, when death come we will be separated from all these things such as money, clothes and all that is precious for us. None of the material things we are fighting for will follow us. Quickly I saw that I was able to see even money that was inside my bag. While this was happening I was aware of what was happening between my mother and Lady Sarah in the living room, as if the wall were absent. When I saw Lady Sarah coming to my room, I said, "Glory to God, she has come to save me." When she entered my room I was waiting for her right at the door, but when this lady entered my room her eyes was focused on my body and she said, "How come she is still sleeping until now?" I said to her, "Lady Sarah, I am not sleeping, I am here standing before you. Go call Mom so that you can help praise my body. Maybe I will be able to walk again." Quickly I saw that Lady Sarah was not hearing me. She went out and closed the door. I became hopeless. "Brother, there is no rapport between the dead and the living." I said, "Why are people not hearing me? Let me go to see my mother." When I joined my mother that was watching TV, I stood before the TV that she was watching. I said, "Mother, come to my room, come and see what is happening to me. Come help my body to stand up." But she could not hear me despite my insistence. My dad was sleeping in their room. I tried to shake my mother but my hand went through her as if she was transparent. I was unable to touch her. I became more desperate. I decided to go out in the street to talk to people. In the street I saw people rushing to work and they were hurrying. As two men were coming I began to tell them, "Guys, come inside to tell my parent about what is happening to me, for they can't hear me. Maybe they will hear you. Join me in our compound." But I saw both of them walking through me. As if I was not there, I followed them and stood before them to implore them. But they passed through my transparent body. Finally I began to wander in the city, going here and there. Obviously I was not walking, I was moving from one place to another like the wind. I was wandering here and there like the wind. I could not talk to people and they could not see me. I noticed that my soul felt the heat of the sun more intensely than the physical body, for when you are a soul without body there is no ceiling, no wall and nothing physical. I could not hide from the sun, for all the houses have no ceiling. I was suffering from the heat of the sun and there was no place to hide. When the sun was gone, then the rain began, and I began to suffer the cold, begging people in the street to give me clothes to cover myself. I was trembling in the street because of the cold. I said, Lord, what is this strange world in which I found myself? When I was alive I had a family, I had money, clothes and food, but what is this world I am in now? I cannot bear this. After wandering the city, I felt hunger. I cried. In the previous world I had money, I could buy food and eat, but in this world I am separated from my own money and my property, and I cannot cook for I have no contact with physical element. Actually this feeling of hunger in my soul was actually the absence of the word in my soul. It was the hunger of the word that I was feeling. On top of this, I began to feel thirsty. It was raining in that day. I got to a pond of water in the street to drink it. When I tried to drink this rainwater I saw that my hand could not touch it. When I stood before this pool of rainwater in the street, I noticed that my image was not reflected in the water. I was no longer part of the physical world. I continued to wander the city and I saw a makeshift restaurant where a man was eating. I greeted him but he did not respond. I said, brother, I am hungry, I just have to eat. When I tried to eat, I could not touch the food yet I was hungry. I said, I can't touch anything, I can't even eat. I began to envy the living. I spoke to people passing in the street but they could not hear me. I stood observing the living that were passing and carrying out their duty. Brother, we must understand that we walk the street with the dead who are wandering the earth. I began to envy the living and I said in me, I used to be like these people, but what is it that is happening to me? Then I saw people quarreling. I saw people coming out of a bar and they were dancing. I tried to explain to them my situation but they could not hear me. Not long after that, I began to sense the looming judgment of God. I was already fearing judgment, because I was feeling a wind of fire that I could not escape. Brother, life is short, but judgment is perpetual. When you die in sin and you will begin to sense the looming judgment, you will pity the living that are distracted by everyday routines of life. I was crying about what I was experiencing and it was beyond belief. The knowledge that I was dead and that my body will rot in the mortuary and the cemetery. I was no longer part of the material world of men. Brother, while I was wandering the city, I heard a voice calling my name. I was happy for finally someone has seen me. I heard the voice telling me, you need to give me an account. Since I did not know that it was the Lord talking to me, I said, who are you to ask me to give you an account? I have no account to give to you. And who are you? The Lord replied to me, I am God. When I realized it was God, I began to tremble. I knelt down and bowed my head. The Lord said, VALDOGER, I need you to give me an account. Then the Lord laughed. I don't know how to describe the laugh of the Lord. First I noticed that when the Lord addressed me he was tender and sweet. I cannot describe the Lord's length, width and greatness. His goodness is beyond what we can think. When the Lord began to speak I saw his hand appearing before me. It was massive. He showed me the palm of his hand and said, behold. When I looked I saw my whole life screening. I saw how I was born, my growth and development up to this age where I died. I saw how I was sleeping with men in hotels room. My sins were countless. I was watching pornographic movies on my phone, and I was listening to world music. My life was all about money and I was willing to sleep with men for money. But where I went beyond the grave after death, I brought neither my body nor my money nor my belonging. My body was there unable to move, yet I live my life satisfying the desire of the flesh, ignoring my soul that had become a wandering spirit. I rejected God in my life, but this very God I rejected come for me in the afterlife. Everything is vanity in this world, only the fate our soul that matter. I thought I was this body, but today I discovered that I am not my body. This body has lied to me. Today, Beloved, we must always renounce our sin that we are maintaining, for when death strike it will be too late. When something or someone is stumbling block for you, just get away to save your soul. I watch my whole life screen there on the palm of the Lord hand. I said, Lord, how come you know all these things in detail? The Lord said, my daughter, I was in you. I said, how can you be in me? The Lord said, do you know that you are dead? I said, what do you mean? He said, men do not die, it is men's body that die. My daughter, you are dead and you are no longer part of the living. I said, Lord, I was not even sick, why should I die like this? The Lord said, I warn you to prepare yourself, for I will come any time, but you did not prepare yourself. The time of warning has passed. I said, what do you mean? The Lord began to show me the way I died. He said, my daughter, before your death you were three, the spirit, the body and the soul. The spirit is me, the soul is you, and the body is just an envelope. The body you see sleeping there in your room is just an envelope. The true you is your soul. Brother, your body is not you. It is an envelope that allows you to touch the material world. When you die, this body will return to dust. It is futile and vain. Therefore, brother, we must not satisfy the desire of this body, because it will decompose and rot when we die. This body has a lot of demand, but there will come a day we shall be separated from this body that is vanity. I learned that I was alive because God's Spirit was in me, enabling my body to function, to speak and move on the earth. When God's Spirit left me, my soul got separated from my body in order to face judgment. This is a great mystery, and the body returned to dust. The Lord said, I told you to prepare yourself, I would come in an hour you do not expect. People are preaching that I am coming soon. People don't realize that I am not coming in the future, for I will come at any time. All these people that are deceased, it's because I came to take them. People keep preaching that I am coming back, still you are not vigilant and on the alert. And you are not taking measure,